Hello, I'm Jonathan,
And I'm Sam.
and this is Progression in Progress. All right, champions, how we doing? How you doing, Sam?
Doing well. How about yourself?
Doing pretty well, but I think today's quite special. Today's a little different than other days, different episodes, because on the day that we're recording this, not the day that it comes out, but the day that we are recording this, it is your birthday, is it not?
It is indeed.
Well, feliz
Lucky.
cumpleaños, happy birthday.
Thank you.
How old are you, 35?
Just about. Feels like it.
No, just kidding. How old are you?
I am 23 today.
Dang, awesome. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Today we have I'm super hyped about this interview. I think you guys are going to love this interview. Today we have on the show my good friend, Jordan Sorensen. I lived near and hung out a lot with Jordan when I was living in Chula Vista in San Diego, Chula Vista, California, which is very close to San Diego and very close to the border, the U.S.-Mexico border. And we had a great time when we were down there together and when we got to know each other. And this guy has a lot of, first off, he's a really fun guy to hang around. One of the funnest guys I know. And two, he's got a unique perspective and some really cool ways of, some really cool mindsets and ways of looking at things that helped me out a lot. When I was living in San Diego in Chula Vista, it wasn't, the work that I had to do there wasn't entirely always the easiest, but being around Jordan really helped me. And the wisdom, I don't think he would call it wisdom, but hindsight 2020, it was definitely wisdom, just the way he lived his life and the way he inspired me and the way he the way he helped me be a better person really had a positive effect on me. So I wanted to bring him here into the podcast and kind of get his perspective. So I guess without further ado, let's just jump right into the interview.
Vámonos.
All right, we're here with my man, Jordan. How you doing, Jordan?
Yo, what's up? Doing pretty good.
Good. Okay, well, I just wanted to start things off by telling maybe a quick little fun story. So I was texting you about this yesterday, but do you remember our big Buford bet?
Yeah, dude. I saw like a little video that I gotta find about her bet. That's pretty funny.
Dude, the big Buford bet was quite legendary. When we were living near each other in Chula Vista, this was February. This is before COVID went full ape, before COVID went ham. Yeah. And we were kind of, getting news about it, seeing what was going on. We're like, oh shoot, but this was before everyone was like freaking out about it. This is before everyone, really was even worried about it. This was early February, before anything had really happened, and we made this bet. I was on the health grind. Jordan was on the bulk mode grind.
Yeah.
Are you still bulking these days? Are you still eating like 3,500 calories? Are you eating 3,500?
I'm in the gym early, baby.
Okay. Yeah. So we made this bet that if they met, we were going to this meeting together. Normally at the meeting, they would talk about health, they would talk about what was going on, how to protect your health and all that, just general. And normally no one paid attention to it because who cared most of the time,
Yeah.
It'd just be some lady telling us to wash our hands and we're like, yeah, whatever, But this time there was 4 of us and we're like, okay, if she mentions coronavirus, this was like at the very, very beginning. If she mentions coronavirus, what was the bet that we had to eat? Okay, there's this place. Sam, I don't know if you're big into fast food, Sam, but yeah. Have you heard of Rallies?
It sounds vaguely familiar, but I'm not sure. No.
So they've got like checkered flag, like their logo and design is like checkered flags and like race track something or other, right?
Yeah.
Right, Jordan?
Yeah. Racing stripes.
Yeah. And so we would always make fun of Rallies, but then also we'd eat there every now and then, but mostly make fun of it. And we bet that if this lady mentioned the coronavirus, that we would have to eat their triple sandwich or whatever, triple burger. And this was when I was on the health grind, the peak of my health grind. So like, this was like, I was not wanting to eat this burger, And then we got there, started the meeting, and she freaking mentioned coronavirus. And
Your eyes
Dude.
lit up too, Phelpsy. Your eyes. Oh no, I'm in it now.
Yeah, dude, it was rough. So we went, and then everyone ended up eating the Big Buford. Everyone ended up pounding a triple burger or whatever. And I think my stomach survived. It
You all
wasn't
finished
the
it?
worst.
Barely.
Yeah, we did.
Nice. That doesn't sound
Dude.
like much of a punishment to me.
No. Yeah, but you got to realize, Sam, this is when I was at the peak of my health grind, and I was eating steamed mushrooms and vegetables every night.
You were healthy as like Bob Ross or something.
Dude, I was so healthy. I had kale growing out of my armpits, bro. Like, dang. Well, I guess I just wanted to tell that story real quick to kind of break the ice and get us in the mode. The first question
that's good.
that I wanted to ask you, you kind of, I don't know if I would call it a catchphrase, but you always, all the time were saying no stress, no stress. So I kind of wanted to have you explain the mentality behind that, where that came from.
Yeah. So I think it started when I was in San Diego, like the big city, in one of my areas on my mission, and it got really, really stressful. Like, it's my first area that I was going to take over. Like, I was like going to be the senior companion, and
so you're going to have a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, lots of responsibility. And I was just like, I can't do this. Oh. And so I kind of I don't know where it came from, if I heard it from someone or something, but I remember, like, whenever I got super overwhelmed, I would just go stand like in the middle of the room or whatever, and just like kind of just shake my knees and be like, oh, no stress, no stress, no stress.
Dude, so this was something that you didn't say before this time.
Yeah, actually I didn't. It started like dead center.
When you're living right when you're living in San Diego in the thick of it.
Yeah, right in the thick of it.
And so I guess that's kind of where it came from, but kind of explain to us, like, how did that end up helping? Like, how did that kind of affect your mindset? And, did you see, even though it sounds kind of silly, just running to the middle of the room, shaking your knees and yelling, no stress, but did it make a difference?
It honestly did, because when I just go and do it, like, my companion would just start laughing, or like I would just start laughing because it was just super dumb, and it kind of relieved a lot of the tension or the overwhelming responsibilities at the time. And so it was like a quick release of, like, what's the word? Is endorphins the right word? Like, when you work out, you release stress and stuff. And I think, like, laughing, I believe it releases, like, kind of the same kind of stuff, relieves a lot of stress. And so I think just the sincere stupidity of me just doing that just kind of got a couple laughs in, and kind of relieved a little tension and stuff. And it honestly really helped. I don't know if it like, my companion at the time, like, he just kind of just laugh, chuckle a little bit, and then he would start doing it too whenever he got, like, stressed out or whatever, and that sort of thing. I do it sometimes at home too. Like, I've noticed myself catching that, doing it sometimes.
So, like, after you started saying that a lot, how, like, when you were, like, kind of like assigned a new task or something to do, like, did you still feel a lot of stress, or do you immediately go to, oh, no stress? And, like, was it a change in mindset, or is it just kind of like something to say, kind of relieve the tension, but then, you still kind of felt pretty stressed afterwards still? Or did it actually help, like, relieve that a lot?
I still felt, like, stressed after, but I think that it kind of just helped with, like, your nerves. Like, say you're, like, gonna go do an interview. Like, I was kind of nervous going to this interview a little bit, and so I saw my Bob Ross calendar, and it just made me laugh a little bit, and it kind of, like, I kind of just calmed my nerves a little bit. So I think it's the whole no stress thing is honestly just like a coping mechanism for stress.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah, I think they always say that laughter is the best medicine. So
Exactly.
I think that kind of goes for most emotions and anything. Can just make everything better with a good laugh.
Yeah. And with some people, it's like it may not be that, but I think like for me, that's how it is for me, and I know a lot of other people too that like just have a good laugh, and then kind of the stress goes away a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I think now that you talk about it and explain it like that, I kind of see how it fits into the whole bigger picture of kind of who you are and how you approach things and how you attack things. You know, it sounds like this no stress was kind of a little bit of comic relief almost. You know, it kind of just helped.
Yeah.
I mean, I think why I loved it so much and why I think it works so well, you know, even if it didn't completely, like, you know, kind of Sam, you and Sam were talking about, it didn't completely just take away the stress, but rather it kind of just helped. I think it helped. This is kind of from an outside perspective looking in and seeing how, you know, you saying this around me, how it affected me. It helped me not take things so seriously, not get caught up in being so serious and caught up in being so intense and so stressed, but rather realizing, hey, hold on, take a step back. You know, you can have a good time even though you're stressed. You know, you can laugh even though you're stressed. This doesn't have to be, you know, sweating till you die, you know, hair
Yeah.
falling out type of stress.
Yeah.
So I think the no stress always put a smile on my face. And I think it did exactly what you described. It just added a little bit of needed relief, a little bit of, you know, just reminding yourself and me, you know, when you said it around me, that things aren't so serious and that, you know, you can attack these problems and, you know, get things done, even if the stress still exists afterwards.
Yeah. And like with like having like leadership responsibilities, you know, and like, you know, I like most of the time, like, you know, people like, you know, they take it pretty seriously, you know.
Yeah.
And I like try to do that. I'm not like a what you call like a serious like mentality person. I'm more of just kind of like a go with the flow, you know, like everything's just gonna work out, you know, kind of thing. And that's just my personality. But I feel like there's just got to be some type of like, you know, like what you did, Phelpsy, with like the breaking the ice, telling that funny story at the beginning. It kind of got the mood going, you know, like the good feels, good vibes, you know. And so that's what I think is with. I don't know, with any like responsibility, like there's like times where you need to be serious, you know, but other times where, you know, you can kind of just take a little laugh, you know, and it kind of helps people know that you're not so like threatening, you know, or, you know, this guy's intimidating, like he's human and stuff. And so it's a pretty good thing to incorporate in like any type of task, I would say.
Yeah, I like that. That's cool. I think it's cool that you're comparing it to, you know, when you had responsibility, when you had leadership roles, it kind of showed everyone around you that you weren't taking yourself so seriously. You know, even though you were taking your responsibility seriously, you weren't trying to be above anyone else. And, you know, I like that you said you were human too. And you were kind of just, you know, it made it feel like more like a team effort than, you know, a top down structure type of thing.
Yeah.
Dang, that's pretty sweet. Well, I think what's cool is the whole no stress kind of leads into the second thing that I wanted to talk about. You know, so most of the time, you know, me and Jordan lived in Chula Vista at the same time, but we didn't live in the same apartment. But we spent a lot of time together. But then there was one day where we did spend together. We did spend the day together, you know, doing our work down there together. And it was one of my favorite days, you know, when I was serving my mission. That was one of my favorite days that I had spending a day with Jordan, because
me too.
we did a lot of the exact same things that we do every single day.
Yeah.
But because of your positive attitude and the way you viewed things and the way you kind of just took everything with a smile, everything that was thrown at you with a smile, everything that came at you, you kind of just had a chip on your shoulder and, you know, just laugh it off and just have a good time. I think that really relates to the whole no stress and really kind of leads into the next thing that I wanted to talk about. Is just why do you try so hard to maintain a positive attitude, and how do you think that benefits you?
I would say like from someone else's perspective about me, I may come across like, like super happy all the time and like um giddy or goofy. Everyone has like their inward struggles, and I feel like I want to try to be kind of like a what's the word? Kind of like a good vibe person to be around, because I know what it's like to feel alone or be like the outcast or feel like the weirdo, and that's what I don't want people to feel like. And so whenever I was like out there with you, Phelpsy, I would just kind of be like, like I'm like a total goof, but I don't care, like, I just love having fun and having people, be happy. And I know like making everyone happy is an impossible task, but if you can make someone happy for a day or, for a few minutes or an hour, then that's worth it to me, I think, in different aspects of whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
So I feel like
So
that's what it's kind of like for me.
yeah, I I like that. It's like it's almost like you were kind of saying with the whole no stress, no stress. I kind of feel like your positive attitude is also kind of helping other people. To it's almost like you're kind of helping people with their problems by just kind of making light of situations and just kind of uplifting them through kind of through that positive mindset and just positivity through everything. But how do you also just like maintain that positive attitude, even like, when you or other people are going through kind of difficult things? Like, how are you able to still stay positive and uplift people through those kinds of situations?
I always like to think about one of my favorite comedians of all times, Olin Rogers. Shout out to my man. He's the
Dude, Olin
greatest.
Rogers.
But something that I was having a really hard time in high school, and I watched a lot of his videos and his funny videos that he makes, and they were just so random and like didn't they made sense, but like most of his stuff was just random and just out of the blue, but it was hilarious and I absolutely loved it because he would just find like the little small things to laugh about. Like for example, like I don't know, you go to the store and you see a box of crackers with like a hamster picture on it, and he would just start laughing like, what does a hamster have to do with crackers, like doesn't make any sense. And then he would just start laughing about it and he would just make light of like situations, just little small things that make him laugh. I feel like that's something that um try to implement whenever I'm having a hard day or something. I always say, I don't know if I've heard this somewhere, but I always say, when in doubt, find something to laugh about. That's what I always try to refer back to, because whenever you're in doubt or you're struggling, I admit it's hard to like find things to laugh about. Um, but I think it's people's like different personalities and what makes them happy. And I know like um, small, simple things can mean the most to people when they're having a hard day. And so I think the no stress mentality is um, making light of something hard or difficult, I'd say.
Dang. Yeah, that's it. I think, well, I love how you describe it because that's exactly how, how that day that we spent together, how the day played out. That
Yeah.
day wasn't amazing because of what happened to us. It was a pretty average day.
Yeah.
Someone yelling at us in the park, meeting a bunch of weirdos, walking around, the normal, it was a pretty typical day. Nothing out of well, actually some out of the ordinary things, but nothing.
Yeah.
The day itself, the circumstances of the day didn't make it great, but
Yeah.
rather the way you carried yourself throughout that day and the way you kind of, I liked what you said, when in doubt, find something to laugh about. Cause it would have been very easy for us to be like, yo, what are we doing? Like, this is super whack. This
Yeah.
sucks. Nothing's going right. All these people that we're talking to are what's going on. But
Yeah.
when in doubt, find something to laugh about. I feel like we were laughing that whole day. And so I just loved how you explained that, because I can see exactly, you aren't just saying this. This is what you put into practice. And I really think that it's powerful, and that it has, I think there's some truth behind this, being happy, even though not everything is perfect, being happy is possible, or at least finding something to smile about, finding something to laugh about.
Yeah, definitely.
Dang. Okay. Well, one thing to just kind of finish things up. All this, a lot of what you've talked about relates to helping others, and especially helping others instead of focusing on yourself. The no stress, might have stemmed from you being stressed, but it helped me, it helped the other people you're around. Hopefully, it sounded like it helped you a little bit, and just kind of, finding something to laugh about, helped other people, helped yourself, hopefully, So what's the mentality behind putting others first and helping others?
I think it comes from just the things I've learned in the past, like with giving service, and we've all experienced this. Like whenever we're having a bad day, we go and do something for someone else, and it makes us feel a little bit like a lot better, like I've heard this saying, if you're having a hard time, find someone else who's having a harder time, and help them out. And I noticed because I was such a nervous Nelly, and I still am, and like I've had struggle with anxiety and that kind of stuff, and so noticing people who kind of have similar struggles, it drives me to kind of help them out, a little bit, because I don't like it when people, I like to include people and make people feel comfortable and stuff, and I'm not perfect, mind you that, but I just love to help, just make people feel happy. I don't know if that's just my personality or not, but it's something that I always try to do, and I try to help people. I should help people more often, and that's something I need to work on. But with the attitude that I want to have is the attitude of improving myself and helping others improve themselves as well, through whatever they need help with, so to speak.
A progression in progress, you could say.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there.
Hey, dang. Well, thank you for sharing kind of your mindset and your wisdom with us, and just kind of sharing your perspective, because I think it's one that we need more today. I mean, when I spent time around you, it definitely helped me, and I know it can help other people. So I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day to come talk with us and kind of share some of some words of advice, some no stress mentality, and just kind of helping others. I think that's a message that more people need to hear. So I appreciate it.
I love it. This is the most hype I've ever been since I got back. Just being here with you guys, reuniting with Phelpsy and meeting Sam. This is dope.
That's awesome. Dang. Well, I guess we'll end it here. Thank you so much. Is there any final words, anything you want to say before you end? Anything you want to shout out? Go ahead. The time's yours.
Shout out to, I'd say, Grandma C. The girl who kept us alive during the crazy times this first of the month. She's an amazing woman.
Truly. Dang. Awesome. Well, once again, thank you so much. I guess we'll stop it here. Thank you for taking the time. It was good talking with you, bro.
Yeah, good talking to you, man.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, see you, Sam.
See ya.
All right, that was a great interview. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, I've never met Jordan in person, but just talking to him just over this, he just sounds like such a great dude, and just his positivity and everything, it's pretty infectious. Just talking over just over the web here, I just felt so much better, and just felt happier and more positive just kind of hearing him talk. So I think he's great example of that.
Yeah, I've spent a lot of time with him, and I can attest, the way he the way he, the way he acted on this interview is exactly how he is in person. He's a great dude, super, super great dude, and his positivity is definitely infectious. And that's exactly why I wanted to have him on the show, because I really think he embodies so much of the progression progress mindset. And, I've learned a lot from him and wanted to share that with others. And, even in this interview, talking to him more and kind of getting the behind the scenes, what's going on in his mind, I feel like I've learned even more from him.
Yeah. Like I just loved, all the sayings that he had, from the no stress, or, when in doubt, find something to laugh about. Like, I think that's really needed, especially, in all these times, like, always finding something to be positive about, or finding the positives in otherwise maybe negative or bad situations, and being able to change the situations just by saying something like no stress or whatever it is, just to change the whole mood of everything, to kind of uplift people when it's probably natural just to kind of be down about everything. I think is really, really needed.
Well, I think while you were saying that, I kind of thought of episode 2, or no, not episode 2. Sorry. The one episode 4, where we talked about taking control of what you can.
Yeah.
And I think this is a perfect example of that. I don't know if it's exactly the same, but I think it's pretty similar. If you're faced with stress, if you're faced with a problem, I guess, I'm sure there's many options, but to simplify things, to oversimplify things, you could either, let the stress consume you and get taken over by it, or you can do, I guess, kind of the no stress method and try to attack it head on and just face it and try to lighten up the situation, and it's not going to make the stress disappear. Like you said, the stress didn't just disappear, but rather it kind of helped him frame things and, frame things in a positive way and just kind of lighten the mood. There was some comic relief, and that allowed, instead of to get eaten and destroyed, wrecked by the stress, you can hopefully manage it in a way that's a little bit better, a little more manageable.
Yeah. Like, just going into something with, if you have those feelings of being stressed or whatever it is, if you're able to kind of change your mindset, or even just have something to kind of break up those initial feelings of, in anticipation. I don't know if that's the right word, but, yeah, it's like, can break that ice and kind of go into it, and just be able to get through whatever you needed to get through a little bit easier.
Yeah, I kind of have this theory, a personal theory. I don't know if I've talked about it with you, but I think no matter what's going on in your life, you're always going to have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's just the nature of humans. I'm no psychologist. This is just me, kind of my own personal theory, but I think no matter what's going on in your life, you're going to find some problem. I think just by nature, we're always trying to solve problems. We're always trying to make things better. And we're kind of, I think, wired to find things that are wrong, so even if things really aren't wrong, both Sam and I, are blessed to live in Southern California, so if you were to compare our lives to the people's lives, 1,000 years ago, the things that we're worrying about wasn't even on the radar of the people 1,000 years ago, but still, it's still real to us. It's still real worries that we have. So I just think no matter what's going down, you're always going to have a problem in your life. And that's why I love this attitude, this mindset that Jordan brings to the table, is that, when in doubt, find something to laugh about, when something stressful is going on, just run to the middle of the room and scream no stress while shaking your knees. Even if it's a little goofy, I think there's some power to it and some wisdom in it, because if you can find out how to be happy through your trials, not necessarily happy, but at least, I think the ultimate goal would be to be happy through your trials, but you can at least find the positive. You can find something to laugh about and not take yourself so seriously all the time. I think that is overall better than just getting caught up in all the negative and getting drowned and destroyed and beaten down by the negative.
Yeah. Like, I kind of feel like, especially nowadays with all the social media and everything, like, it's so easy to kind of think that everyone everyone has these perfect lives that they've kind of curated, and, that, that person probably has no problems and lot of comparisons and things like that can kind of put you down. But I think you're right. Like pretty much everyone has some kind of problem or something going on in their life that, maybe, no one will ever really know about. But yeah, if you're just able to have that positive mindset, being able to either for yourself or helping other people kind of have that as well. Yeah, let's really drive everything forward. Everyone could use a good laugh, and yeah, you never know how much you're helping someone else, even if it does look like they have a like a perfect life on the outside or anything like that.
Yeah, 100%. And I think what was great too is something that Jordan said is that, if you were to meet him, you might think, that his life, he's got a pretty dang good life. And, or, that he's not facing, he's not, that this theory that I just threw out there doesn't apply to him just because he's so, his positivity is so infectious. But I love that he said in the interview, that, he's got his own things that he's dealing with, not everything's perfect for him, but, by helping other people, hopefully one, he can make those things that other people are going through easier. And two, it kind of, what goes around comes around, by helping other people, I think you can ultimately help yourself. And I think, the message of this is, not everything's going to be perfect, and you're not going to, I'm not saying something terrible happens and then you start having a deep, just start deep belly laughing and just, shake it off and, be like, oh, it doesn't matter. But rather,
Right.
Just finding whatever positive there is. Cause I guess I'm going to add to my theory that there's always something wrong that you can find in your life. But I also think there's always something positive you can find, no matter how crappy the situation is. I'm sure, I don't want to throw out a gigantic blatant statement because I'm sure someone could prove me wrong, but for the most part, no matter how bad things seem, I'm sure there's a positive that you can find. And I think by focusing on that and, controlling what you can, I think there's something really powerful in that.
Yeah. And I really liked that, he kind of was talking about, like, along with that, he's still kind of learning to, or striving to get better with all of that as well. It's a progression in progress to, still remember to find the positive in those negative situations, or remember or strive to help other people more often. And we're all learning and we're all getting better at that all the time. So even if every once in a while we have something bad that comes up, and maybe we're not just springing back from it immediately and just laughing everything off, but we all have those bad times. But the more I feel like the more you kind of practice that, just trying to find the positives in your life, then the happier you'll be overall, and just the better life will be for you and those around you, especially if you can help uplift others.
Yep. I'm in agreement. Those bad things in your life, they're not going to go away. Even though we wish, it's like a constant, goes back to the theory. I feel like it's a constant struggle to get rid of, or just to get rid of all your problems. And I don't think that's ever going to be possible. In my opinion, I don't think that it's possible right now to just get rid of all your problems. And then, you wake up one day and be like, dang, nothing's wrong. And, my life is 100% perfect. I don't think that's going to happen right now. So, just like we were saying, I don't want to repeat myself, but this mindset can help attack that and help you kind of to find the good in things.
Even if you had all of your problems just taken away from you, it's probably not even the best thing. Like, I feel like even if you had no problems, like, you probably wouldn't be happy still, or like just having no problems just means there's no, you're not progressing anymore, because you have nothing to learn from. Your life is just perfect. So I think adversity is key to finding greater happiness.
100%. It kind of sucks that it is like that, but that's the way it is. You gotta, by experiencing tough things, that's how you learn and you grow. And might as well do it with this biggest smile on your face as you can. It's not going to be perfect. It's not always going to be, you're not always going to just be, like we said, just laughing it off, no problems at all. But rather, if you can just find the little pieces of good, I think, that adversity becomes a little bit easier and you can still learn. So
yep.
dang,
No stress.
No stress, no stress. I think that's a perfect place to end it. No stress, no stress. Okay, so I think that concludes it for this episode. I was super grateful to have the opportunity to sit down with my friend Jordan and just have him drop some knowledge on us. I learned a lot from him when I was hanging out with him in San Diego, spending some time around him in San Diego, and I learned a lot from this interview, and I hope you guys did too.
Yep. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. And if you want to follow us, just be sure to follow us on Instagram at Talk Progression, or Twitter as well at Talk Progression. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on whatever platform you listen on. Share it.
Leave us a review if you're using Apple Podcasts. That helps us out a ton.
Yep.
And share it with your friends. Yeah. That's new. That's a new thing we're adding. Share it with your friends.
Share it. Someone you think who needs it.
Exactly. Dang. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. Hope you guys have a great week. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.